The story begins in a ruined cityscape where All Might stands face to face with his greatest enemy, All for One. Buildings lie shattered around them, smoke fills the sky, and the world watches as the symbol of peace pushes his broken body beyond its limits. Using advanced tools and gadgets built into his armor, All Might dodges deadly attacks while striking back with precise counters. His movements are slower now, his breathing heavy, yet his eyes remain sharp. Even wounded and exhausted, he refuses to lose focus. When he freezes All for One with an ice blast, he speaks words meant not just for his enemy, but for the future, declaring that even if he disappears, the light of heroes will continue to shine. Far away, at Operation Troy, chaos unfolds on another front. Kunita overwhelms Aoyama and the heroes using grotesque carnivorous plants that drain their energy, wrapping around them like living prisons. Despite his injuries, Aoyama refuses to fall. Summoning his remaining strength, he fires his naval laser one last time. Hagakure, unseen yet ever-present, redirects the beam with perfect timing, sending the attack straight into Kunita and breaking his hold. Back in the city, All Might prepares his final gambit. Activating Hercules, he fires a colossal laser that engulfs the battlefield in blinding light. The ground burns, the air trembles, but when the light fades, All Might collapses, his body left in critical condition. All for One rises again, ready to finish it, until a familiar presence intervenes. Stain appears from the shadows, freezing All for One with blood curdle. In that frozen moment, time seems to slow. Together, he and Stain strike, but All for One unleashes forced quirk activation, expelling all of Stain's blood in a violent counterattack. Even as he dies, Stain urges All Might to keep fighting. All for One kills him and claims Blood Curdle as his own. Broken and bleeding, All Might hallucinates Nana and Night Eye, drawing strength from their words as he refuses to collapse, even as his armor shatters and his body is crushed. Elsewhere, Deku continues his battle with Shigaraki. When All for One attempts to transfer himself, Shigaraki resists. All for One then broadcasts All Might's broken body to the world. Suddenly, Bakugo returns in a burst of light, propelled by Deku's gear shift, saving All Might at the last second. All Might briefly regains consciousness and gives Bakugo the final piece of armored All Might as a splint. Bakugo launches a citywide assault on All for One, halting his attempt to empower Shigaraki. Watched by the entire world, Bakugo overwhelms him with non-stop attacks, and All for One recognizes Kudo's will reflected in his eyes. A flashback reveals a pregnant woman on the streets. One child grows strong and feeds before birth, while the other barely survives. The mother dies, and the twins grow up as quirks emerge and society descends into chaos. The older twin becomes ruthless, killing and stealing quirks, while the younger one remains gentle. They still share quiet moments through comics and dreams of heroes. The older brother gives Yoichi a quirk and asks him to join forces, but Yoichi refuses and escapes with Kudo. All for One kills Yoichi, yet his will lives on within One for All. Later, All for One murders Kudo and his family, then hunts everyone connected to this power, though One for All itself cannot be taken. Back in the present, Bakugo battles All for One as he unleashes Omnifactor Unleash, releasing every stolen quirk at once. Bakugo lands flawless strikes, repeatedly destroying All for One's body. Even as All for One regresses into a baby, he continues fighting, forcing Bakugo to defend. At last, his stolen quirks disappear, and he devolves further, from infant to fetus to zygote, and finally into pure light, ending the battle. Exhausted but victorious, Bakugo collapses, leaving the final fight to Deku and Shigaraki. Before the last confrontation, UA heroes prepare the Coffin in the Sky operation to stop Shigaraki from destroying the ground. While younger students are taught their mission, protect the ruins and safeguard the future, Shigaraki senses All for One's death and intensifies his assault. Deku avoids attacks with danger sense, but Shigaraki, having stolen it, evades many blows. He slams Deku near Mount Fuji, shattering his respirator and leaving him gasping for air. Taito urges retreat, warning that Shigaraki is pure destruction, but Deku refuses, convinced a human heart still exists inside him. They discover a scar within Shigaraki's core, and Kudo devises a risky plan. Deku must force One for All into the scar to attack Shigaraki's mind, using stored quirks to avoid recoil and prevent theft. After hesitating, Deku commits. He launches Deku Overlay. Shigaraki senses the threat and cuts off his own arm, instantly regenerating. Deku uses Smokescreen, and when Shigaraki attempts decay, he hurls chunks of ground bound by black chains to stop it. Using his cape as a decoy, Deku slips inside, allowing Kudo to enter Shigaraki. Kudo sacrifices himself, crashing into Shigaraki's core and inflicting devastating internal damage. Shigaraki is gravely injured, growing extra fingers to defend himself. Deku presses the attack, breaking through again and again, but Shigaraki's core rejects the quirk and blasts Deku away. Eri, Kota, and others watch the battle live, powerless but inspired. Injured heroes are evacuated or treated, while fighters like Lady Nagant and Rocklock admire Deku's hope and his ability to reach people's hearts. One by one, the One for All users fade, leaving only Nana. In the Vestige Realm, Deku enters Shigaraki's mind, a white space shaped by trauma, recreating his childhood home. Guided by Nana, Deku realizes this is Shigaraki's origin and weakest point. Manifestations of Stain, Redestro, and Chisaki attack, but Deku pushes forward. He witnesses young Tenko being abused by his father, Kotaro. Trying to interfere, Deku hits an invisible wall. Kotaro insults Nana, accusing heroes of abandoning their families. Nana breaks down, blaming herself for Tenko's suffering and her failure to stop All for One. But hearing Deku's voice, she regains resolve, shatters the wall, and confronts Kotaro before fading away. Deku hears a whimper and finds Tenko crying as decay activates, killing the family dog while Hana screams. Deku grabs Tenko's hands, promising not to let him become a villain. The world darkens to purple as Tenko asks why Deku cares. Deku explains that when others once reached out to him, he felt peace, even as his own arms broke. Slowly, Tenko's hatred dissolves. They collapse together as Tenko briefly imagines a normal life, then accepts his path as a villain. Suddenly, All for One seizes control, revealing that Tenko's abuse, his quirk, and his entire life were engineered to make him the perfect vessel. With Shigaraki's vestige gone, All for One's gray body fully solidifies. Deku is left shattered, his arms destroyed, but his classmates arrive just in time. Sero restrains All for One, Mashirao and Sato attack, and Aizawa restores Deku's arms using Eri's horn. In a flashback, Present Mike nearly lashes out at Kurogiri, but Aizawa stops him and reaches out instead. Miraculously, Kurogiri awakens, calling Present Mike by name. Aizawa contacts Naomasa, gathers heroes and supplies at Shiketsu High, and civilians and retired heroes join the cause. Before departing, Eri gives Aizawa her broken horn, trusting it can still trigger Rewind to heal Deku. Back in the present, fully repaired and resolute, Deku rises once more. Heroes and students flood the battlefield through Kurogiri's portals. Fighting together, they carve a path for Deku to reach All for One. As All for One tries to regenerate, Bakugo clears the way. The combined power of 9 users overwhelms All for One. In the Vestige Realm, Shigaraki thanks Deku and leaves a final message for Spinner before fading away. Deku's final punch clears the storm, reducing All for One to dust. After the war, heroes from Japan and abroad help rebuild, using quirks to accelerate recovery. At Central Hospital, Bakugo recovers with his parents. Dr. Yoshida warns his right arm may never fully heal and suggests a prosthetic, but Bakugo refuses, determined not to lose his explosion quirk. He vows to train carefully and keep moving forward. Deku awakens beside All Might, reflecting on the war and his injuries. Though he can feel his arms again, he mourns his failure to save Shigaraki. All Might reassures him that Shigaraki's final expression showed peace, meaning Deku saved the crying child within. When Bakugo learns Deku lost one for all, he breaks down, but Deku accepts it calmly. Bakugo apologizes and promises to stay his rival. All Might calls them both the greatest heroes, and they share a smiling fist bump. Deku realizes peace must be protected, not assumed, and returns to UA after recovering. In June, third-year students graduate, with Present Mike hosting and Nezu presiding. Tamaki notes Nejiri's recovery thanks to Mirio, who gives a speech about loss and hope before departing with his quirk and a giant robot. Class 2 celebrates Aizawa, staying on as their teacher, while Aoyama leaves UA to atone and introduces Hitoshi as his replacement. After school, students chat casually. Uraraka notices Deku's new haircut. Shoto visits Toya, now on life support, as the Todoroki family reunites with Endeavor, confined to a wheelchair. Toya complains about being treated like an exhibit, and tells his father it's too late to fix things. Endeavor retires, promising daily visits. Before leaving, Shoto asks Toya his favorite food, and Toya weakly answers, "Soba, same as Shoto's." Alone, Toya cries for the first time in years. Later, Natsuo cuts ties with Endeavor, while Fuyumi begins teaching. Endeavor accepts his punishment and vows to protect his family. Shoto notes that his friends now support him. The media harshly criticizes Shigaraki for the devastation he caused, as much of Japan remains in ruins. Deku visits Spinner in the hospital, who calls him a murderer. Deku delivers Shigaraki's final message, and Spinner breaks down, saying Shigaraki was his only friend and hero. He promises to write a book about Shigaraki and the League. Life at UA slowly returns to normal. Bakugo and Shoto are chased by first years, but rescued by Tenya. Students help rebuild the city alongside Fat Gum and Best Jeanist, earning thanks from locals. Edge Shot assures Bakugo his strength will return, while Deku reminds everyone that rebuilding is a shared responsibility. Later, Uraraka, burdened by guilt over Toga's death, stands alone on a cliff. Deku finds her, and they share their grief, offering mutual support. Class 2A arrives, learning Deku lost one for all as Aizawa watches with a quiet smile. Class 2A and Class B host a farewell party for Aoyama, with Eri singing and Kyoka playing guitar. In the ruins of a house, a young boy steps into the sunlight, purple smoke leaking from his fingers. Born with a mutation quirk, his family locked him away and fled during the war. At his lowest moment, the same woman who once ignored Tenko approaches, takes his hand, and comforts him. "It's okay now. Grandma's here." The crisis ends peacefully, showing how heroes' sacrifices reshape society. The boy cries in relief as Deku and Uraraka watch, smiling at the success of the new hero society. Finally, Class A graduates. Tenya delivers a speech about the war and moving forward without losing hope, only for Bakugo and Monoma to suddenly burst through the wall. 8 years later, a new generation of students speaks of their dreams. One boy hopes to attend UA, but is mocked for his weak quirk. Rebuilt heroes now visit schools to inspire children. Deku, now a UA teacher, is teased by Aizawa about Bakugo's competitiveness, showing old friendships remain strong. Walking home, Deku instinctively helps a child who trips, while Dai rushes to assist and falls as well. Deku encourages him, explaining how creativity matters more than raw power. Later, All Might appears. gifting Deku a new mechanical hero suit developed using battle data from the past. As Hawks reports a landslide, Deku launches into action with his friends. In the distance, he glimpses the smiling ghost of Shigaraki,